Hello and welcome to another Mondays with May. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for choosing to come back, hang out, spend a little bit of your day with me, and thank you for your patience while I briefly introduce myself to anybody who might be new to my channel. Hi, my name's May. I love yarn. I love to knit and crochet. Those are my hobbies. And I also happen to have been born visually impaired, legally blind, and completely colorblind. So I mostly knit and crochet by feel. And guess what? Today I'm going to be knitting with you. That's right. Here is the project. Y'all take a look at that. Yeah. So, if let me know, say hello in the comment section. Let me know where you're watching from, right? Where you at? Not like your address or anything personal, just like country, state, that's all. Protect your privacy on the internet. I'm going to be knitting with you, but I would love to hear from you, and I would love to know what it is that we're doing together today. Are you knitting with me? Are you crocheting? Are you doing some kind of craft? Are you cleaning? Let's, like, are you just scrolling the YouTube because you can't sleep? If that's the case, that's okay. I do that. I'll be honest with you. I scroll YouTube when I can't sleep. Sometimes it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And guess what? One of my favorite crocheters or knitters is on. There's a video from them, and I'm like, it's good company. Sometimes I knit along with them. Sometimes I'm just trying to sleep. So that's totally fine. Whatever and whenever you find this, but I would love to know. So let's talk about what I'm knitting, because as somebody who's visually impaired, I love to describe my projects for other people who are visually impaired. So if you watched my Start Something Saturday video, right, from the first Saturday of October, which I believe was the 4th, which was like not this last weekend, but the weekend before. What? Yeah, can you believe that? We're already like to what would be considered mid-October. No way. Yeah. So, but I made a video for the first Saturday, and I was talking about just like, what do you want to make? Because it's October, right? So what are you inspired to make in October? And I had these crocheted like spider web granny squares, and I just like practicing doing that. And I honestly didn't know. Like, I was just like, what are like October themes? What do people like in October? What do I think of when I think October? And spiders aren't just here for Halloween, right? Spiders are here because it's cold outside and they're looking for a place to live, right? They want to live with you, with me, you, right? So I think most of us, whether we celebrate Halloween or not, we're like, yeah, spiders. So I was crocheting up these spider web, like just kind of practicing crocheting up some spider web granny squares because I thought that'd be fun. But I really had no idea what I was going to do with them. When I was crocheting them, I'm like, what are you going to do with that? I don't know, right? I don't know what I'm going to do with my spider web granny squares. And I actually thought about just hanging them up. I was like, you could just like hang them up for decor, right? I mean, that's kind of fun. We could have just left it as it is. We could have squared it up like I did. We could just use it for like, decor, right? Like a wall hanging, or we could like, hang it onto the window or something, or just, do something fun with it. And of course you can. Let me know. Have you made crochet spiderweb granny squares? Did you do that? Did that video get you interested in making spiderweb squares? So I was looking at mine and thinking, like, what are you going to do with it now, right? I mean, you can just leave it. It could just be like a fun, I was just crocheting. Like I said, I'm trying out. This is the new, by the way, we are working with the Knit Picks We Crochet new Brava Baby DK. It's a 100% acrylic, machine wash, easy care yarn. It came out this summer. Now, Brava's not new to Knit Picks, right? They've had Brava and Brava Bulky and Brava Sport for a long time, and they finally brought us some Brava DK. So, of course, someone who does YouTube, I'm like, should try it out, right? Let people know. my thoughts on it. And of course, I want to hear your thoughts on it too. Have you had a chance to buy any Brava Baby DK yet? And what do you think? Do you think it's really softer? To me, it just feels softer than the Brava worsted. But I want to hear your opinions, and we all want to hear your opinions too on it. We can like help everybody out, right? It's not just about me. I want to hear from you too. So I just wanted to get some in the house and play with it. So if you are visually impaired, the spider webs are in the color gray, like a heathered gray. It's a light gray. It's a really, really light gray. Can I tell y'all something? I have been colorblind my whole life. So I don't even know what color spider webs are. For real. I got no clue what color spider webs are. I don't actually know if they're gray. They might be white. They might be tan. I have no idea what color they actually are. Awkward. So you know what? I'm just guessing. I was like, gray's probably a good color for cobwebs, right? For spider webs. So it seemed like the thing to do to me. So that's what a color that I chose for mine. But I didn't actually know. That's just a guess on my part. So I made the spider webs in like a light heather gray, squared them up, and then, did two and then connected them in the round. So I was like, you know what, make a top, right? Because y'all know, if you're a returning viewer, I love to experiment with like tops and clothes and things and putting knit and crochet together. I just kind of like to make my own, clothing stuff. And so I'm like, what else are you gonna do with this spider web, babe? But wear it, right? Make a top out of it. So that's what we're doing right now. We've crocheted the spider web. The spider web came out bigger than I expected it to be. When this thing's all stretched out, I'm like, that's pretty big. Because I definitely needed to square it up. I did definitely put like some single crochets around it and some half doubles, right? We had to square it up, because I'll be the first to tell you, my granny square spider webs, they're not perfect. They're not. They're kind of wonky and, a little bit, and they still are, okay? Even squared up, they're still a little bit wonky. I did, the singles and the half doubles. Those are like your stabilizing stitches. Well, my spider web's still a little bit wonky. But I really didn't know what else to do with it, except to be like, just wear it. Just make a top out of it and just wear it. So that's what we're doing with ours. So you know what? I'm just making myself a little Halloween costume, right? Got my orange and my black socks. Y'all saw that for Finish It Friday, right? You saw the black and the orange socks. So I'll be honest with you, I have some reservations about making clothing out of 100% acrylic yarn. Okay, I do. I've never made myself a garment beyond socks, right? I've made the socks, but beyond a garment like the socks, I've never made myself a garment out of yarn that's 100% acrylic, because it's not breathable. It's not a natural fiber, and I really do love my natural fibers for clothing. Like, you've seen them on my channel. I've got skirts, right? Lots of wool skirts, wool and alpaca skirts, wool and bamboo skirts that I've made. I do have the comfy skirts, right? The comfy, which is a cotton and acrylic blend. And so that's 75% cotton, Pima cotton, and then 25% acrylic. And so to me, comfy is still very much a breathable yarn, right? With 75% cotton, it's very breathable, and so I'm comfortable in my comfy. I'm sure you figure that out. I've made all kinds of clothing and comfy, right? I've got tank tops out of comfy fingering. I've got skirts and shorts out of that comfy worsted. So I love it, but it's only 25% acrylic. So now I make baby garments all the time out of acrylic because it's machine washable. And so it's an easy care kind of a fiber. And so I feel like it's perfect for baby garments, right? Like most mamas, right, when they got babies, they don't want high maintenance clothing. They're like, no, that baby's high maintenance enough, right? They want to get the babies out of their clothing, get the clothes in the wash, and sleep, right? When they got extra time, mamas usually want to sleep. They don't want to mess around with hand wash and stuff. So I usually use acrylics for baby clothes. Sometimes I do cotton acrylic blends. Sometimes I do some wools, but super wash wools. But I do a lot of baby stuff in acrylics, in acrylic blends, like acrylic nylon blends, acrylic cotton. So, but I've made baby garments that are 100% acrylic. And some of these acrylics, like this Brava baby, it's pretty soft. And so I'm like, it kind of feels nice. It does. But my tank top this summer, this is like my first time to really play with acrylics, is after, like for garments, is after I got my YouTube channel started, because I've realized that a lot of people, well, there's, a lot of people that have wool allergies, they're allergic to animal fibers. They don't, can't afford animal fibers. I mean, acrylics are for sure more affordable, right? And so I knew that a lot of people who are watching YouTube channels, they say that, because I've heard that from other people who are YouTube content creators, that they'll say, people want acrylics. And so that's definitely something that I've started to do. I hadn't played with acrylics, and this is not a video about, the discussion on acrylics versus natural fiber. That's a whole other combo that we can have. That's not the point of the video today. So, but it wasn't until I really started, getting serious about thinking about YouTube channels and trying out different yarns and, wanting to to explore more, that I really started thinking like, okay, acrylics. And, part of it was I didn't like the feel of acrylics for a long time. I was like, a lot of them are kind of scratchy, and just didn't like it. Well, acrylic yarns have come a long ways. I mean, I'm even impressed with how that Red Heart Super Saver Bitty Stripes feel. I'm like, wow, Red Heart, you've come a long ways, right? So, and then so finally this summer, I made that tank top from the Premier yarns, from the Dottie yarn, because I'd already made 2 baby garments and the Premier Dottie, and I was like, that's soft, that's pretty nice, right? And I was like, well, maybe I want to make myself something with that. But when I did it, because it's not a breathable yarn, it's acrylic, it's a DK weight acrylic, so I've worn that tank top and it is really soft. But I'm definitely glad, if you saw that tank top, it has the open, kind of like some open crochet mesh at the bottom. And so I've worn that tank top, and I'm certainly glad that it has the mesh. Okay, I'm 47. I'm a 47-year-old woman, and hot flashes are a real thing for me. That's where I'm at in my life. Okay, that's just truth. And they're intense, and they're uncomfortable, and I'm like, So I want breathable fibers. I want things that are loose, that are airy, that yeah, so I've been really hesitant to wear the acrylics, but I made that Dottie tank top that has like the mesh kind of open. I don't even know what that stitch is called for sure. It's like maybe like a mesh square or something like that. I'm not sure. It's like 2 double crochets next to each other, and then you chain 2, skip 2, right? Then 2 double crochets, and then you like rotate that back and forth. If you haven't seen that, it's on a Finish Your Friday video, where I walk you through the whole process on it. So that was the first time that I really made myself an acrylic garment, just because I was wanting to play with the acrylic yarns more, and be able to, share yarns on here that people might want to learn about, right? And that I want to learn about too. So I did that, and I was like, well, it's definitely, like, there's definitely a difference for me when I wear that top between, but it's a tank top. So, I can tell the difference, all right? The bottom part is that open mesh crochet, and then the top part is the solid knit fabric. So, it's airy, and it's very, open, and so it's comfortable for me. Even for me, I'm like, okay, I can deal with this, this solid fabric over like a small area of my, my person, right? Where you need solid fabric on, solid knit fabric. So that was kind of my thought with this. I was like, well, if you're going to make yourself a garment, you should go with kind of the similar concept, right? Of like, some kind of open, loose crochet on the bottom. So I was like, well, the granny's got me those spider webs. They're pretty open. They're pretty loose. So they're breathable, right? Even though acrylic itself is not breathable, The spider webs, well, they're pretty breathable. So there's lots of room in there for circulation. So obviously the black part on top, if you are visually impaired, the knitting section, I don't know if I mentioned that or not, the knit section that I'm doing on the top part is black. So let me know your thoughts too on that. Should I have switched to the black and done it in multicolor, or should I have stayed with the gray? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. I almost made the whole top in gray. I did, but I was like, it might be fun to do it in black, right? It might be fun to change it up because I got lots of the black, and you know I'm going to be wearing it with my black and orange stockings, right? I mean, it's a Halloween top. When else am I going to wear spider web, y'all? When? Right? So I can't think of beyond like for Halloween, for October. I mean, am I really going to be walking around in a spider web tank top? What do you think about it, by the way? I want to hear from you. Like, what are your thoughts on a spider web tank top in general? Are you like, nope, no spider web tank top at all? Are you like, yes, spider web tank top, but only for Halloween? Or are you like, spider web tank top anytime you want? Cause I'm like, I could wear a spider web top for Halloween for sure, like October-ish, kind of give us that fall vibe. But you know, at the same time, I'm like, would I wear it any other time of the year? I don't know if I would. So I'm not sure yet. I just don't know, right? I mean, it's kind of cool too, though. I mean, look at that. It's kind of cool, right? So I don't know yet. But do you think I should have done it in a color block with the black? Or do you think I should have kept it all gray? Do you think I should? I can't make the top part orange. I just know. Even though I'm colorblind, my mom and my sister, and they're like, you can't wear orange near your face, right? So I'm pretty sure I can get away with the orange and black stockings, but I know I couldn't switch this up to orange near my face. So I knew that was out. I do have other colors of the Brava Baby DK, so I could have gone with another color. But I don't know. I was just looking at the black and the orange and the gray, and I was like, put those together. Black is a good, like a lot of people wear black on Halloween as part of their costumes and their outfits, since that black's like, you know, supposed to be like kind of a Halloween, kind of a more autumn kind of, you know, darker, spooky kind of a thing. So a lot of people wear black on their costumes. So I went with the black, and I also know that black goes with multiple other things. That was a thing too. If I want to wear this with my black and orange stockings, which I do, that I was afraid, I'm like, if you put like red on there, as somebody who's colorblind, I don't know if red and orange match. See, I don't know if I could have worn a top that was gray and red and then worn it with the orange and black socks. I don't know. So I was kind of afraid to mix it up too much, because I just don't know. So I went with the black, but I would love to hear from you if you think I should have gone with another color that I could have worn with the green. Like, I guess we could have gone with the dark green, maybe. I'm not sure. I probably could have gone with a dark green. I'm not sure. But I was like, well, just go with black. Just be safe and go with black. So I did also contemplate making myself like a dress, like a full-on like dress for Halloween. I was like, well, you could make a dress, but then, because I've designed a couple of dresses and I like them. They're fun. It's fun. I have not designed a dress in a long time, so, well, a couple of years. So I was thinking about that, but the reality is I haven't made up my mind yet on whether or not I would want to wear a spider web just for Halloween, just for fall, or if I would want to wear a spider web other times of the year, right? And so I was like, if you put all that work into a dress, and then you're like, I don't want to wear a spider web except for Halloween, then, you know, you put all this work into a whole dress that you're only going to wear a few times a year. So that was kind of my thought on why I vetoed the dress. Even though dress crossed my mind, I was like, a dress might be fun, right? A dress could be fun. But I think we're gonna skip the dress and just do like stockings and the top, and then maybe a skirt if I have time. I'm playing with the concept of a skirt. I don't have the design worked out yet for what I want in a skirt yet. I think I have to go just a second. Just a second. Be right back. Let me pause the camera. Okay, sorry about that little interruption. Anyways, we will, right? Life happens, so rather deal with life and then try to get back to our video as soon as possible. Other people need things, so gotta take care of that. Anyway, so okay, so what was I talking about? Oh yes, I'm sorry. Like in your world, it was only a second. In my world, there was a little bit of a time lapse there, but we'll get back to working on our spiderweb top. So I thought about making it a dress, but I was like, that's a lot of work. Making a dress is a lot of work. And then why would you make a spiderweb dress that you might only wear a couple times a year, right? So my thought was, you know what? Just make a spiderweb top and then make a separate skirt, maybe make a separate skirt in black. That's where I'm going with that right now. And then you can wear the skirt anytime you want, right? Like the skirt doesn't have to be just for Halloween. You can make like a black skirt that's really versatile, that could be worn anytime, right? So that was my thought on that. Was no to the dress, yes to separates that can be worn separately. So we're going to have spiderweb top, and then we're just going to have like a plain old black skirt, probably with some crochet on the bottom, but knit on the upper part of the skirt, then crochet on the bottom. That's where I'm going with that for now in my head. Haven't totally picked it. I got a couple of different designs in my mind for the top, for the bottom. But look at that. Like, is that fun? Do you think that's fun? Like, let me know your thoughts on spiderweb top. Like, just in general. Do you think it's cool? Or do you think no? You're like, nope, never. Or Halloween only. Or anytime you want to wear a spiderweb, right? So I would love to hear from you on that. And I don't want anybody for a minute to think that I like spiders. Okay. I don't. I do not like spiders. Okay. I don't. But you know what? They're just like their life. We all know that they come in. So in the fall, I'm not a fan, but I know that they're just life. They're life. So I, like, as somebody who's visually impaired, I'm like, part of me is like, maybe it's a good thing that I really can't see spiders. I know that they're living in here with me. There's probably one across the room from me, right? There's probably one sitting in the corner eyeing me, and I don't see it. So I'm like, maybe that's a good thing that I don't see the spiders. I'll be sitting in a room with my family, and my dad or my sister, somebody will like get up and grab like a shoe or a fly swatter or a newspaper or something, and they'll like get a spider. They're like, it's a spider, and they'll get the spider. So I know that, and I never see the spider. They're like chasing the spider around, and I never see the spider. So the reality is I'm like, my dad and my sister see a lot of spiders that I never see. So I've had to come to terms with the reality that I've probably got spiders living in this house with me, maybe even in this room with me, that I don't even know about because I don't see them. And I'm like, okay, we can coexist as long as you don't crawl on me, right? When you crawl on me, it's on. It is on. So that's when I'm like, now it's time for you to go. When you crawl on me, you gotta go. And I know I should. I'm a nature lover. I love animals, and I know that spiders are part of the ecosystem, right? I know that they can build webs, and that the webs help catch flies and other icky bugs too. So part of me is like, I know I should just leave the spiders alone. I know I should like scoop them up and put them outside, and relocate spiders. I know that's the kind thing to do. I know it's the humane thing to do, but mm-mm. That is not me. That's not me. I'm like, no, if you crawl on me, it's on. And, I'm going to come for you. So, and I don't have any pets to like chase him around or nothing like that either. So that's, I'm allergic to cats. So I don't have any indoor cats to chase the spiders around. And I don't have a guide dog anymore to get the spiders for me. So, Rosie, I had 3 guide dogs. My first 2, Genevieve and Albie, completely unfazed by spiders. But, Rosie, the one we talked about during jury duty, yeah, of all my dogs to go after spiders and flies, it'd be Rosie. Rosie was the Venus flytrap, right? If there's a fly around Rosie, she'd be like, she'd be snapping at them. They were like, what do they call them? Sky raisins or something like that for your pets. And she'd snap at the flies, and she'd get the flies. And the same thing with spiders. She'd act like a cat, right? And she'd lay down there at the floor. She'd look at them, or she'd focus on them for a long time. And then she'd pounce on them, just like a cat with her big old feet, like her big old German Shepherd feet. She'd get them in her mouth, and it was gross. And she'd gum them around, but she spit them out, and that was a good thing, because that worried me, because I don't know what kind of spiders they were, right? I'm like, what if you swallow a spider that's toxic to you? I don't know, would a black widow be toxic to her? I don't know. I have no idea what kind of spiders we might have around here that would have been toxic to her. But thankfully, when she caught spiders, she'd like gum them up and turn them into like a big old wad, and then she'd spit out like, wad of spider on the floor for me, which is gross and slimy, but I'd rather she do that. I'd rather get paper towels out and like pick up her gummed up spider and toss it than have her swallow it. So Rosie was actually really good with spiders. She was good at catching them. She was good at, gumming them up and spitting them out for me. They entertained her for sure. Of all my dogs, right, you have to know it. I had 3 guide dogs, and if I ever had one that was into hunting spiders and flies, it was Rosie, for sure. She was like, what did I say about Rosie on Wednesday? Like every day it was like, really, Rosie, really. And the spiders and the flies were definitely really, Rosie, really, you gotta do that with the spiders. But I didn't mind, just because it helped me out, because obviously there were spiders that I didn't know about that I had living with me. So it was cool that she did that, and that she didn't actually eat them and ingest a toxic insect or something like that. But had I lived in an area where I thought there might have been spiders that could have been a real danger to her, obviously that would be a lot more concerning. But where I live, I don't really know what kind of, beyond like like the daddy long legs and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't research it. I don't know what kind of spiders. I'm not super into them at all. So I don't research it. I don't know what kind of spiders we got around here. To my knowledge, though, they're just like, excuse me, they're just like, your average spiders. So, but I'm not a spider expert. I don't know about those things. I don't want to know about those things. I'm not a spider fan at all. Like Spider-Man's cool. I like Spider-Man. But, beyond that, I'm not like one of these, spiders. I'm not a spider freak. So I'm not into that. So I didn't want anybody to get the impression when I was like, I'm going to make myself a spiderweb top and wear like a spiderweb costume for Halloween. I didn't want anybody to think that I'm like super into spiders, because I'm not. Now, the man whose house I live in, the one who interrupted our video, he's into spiders. He likes spiders. He thinks spiders are cool. He won't kill them. He will not kill them. I'm like, can you kill them? He won't kill them. He won't. He leaves them in the house. He's aware of them. He'll see them. He refuses to kill them. You're not gonna kill it? He won't kill it. And he oftentimes won't even like relocate them. I'm like, can you put it outside? And he's like, no, it's fine. It's fine. Like, he likes to coexist and live with spiders. He's perfectly comfortable with it. Mm-mm. I'm like, he's very comfortable sharing space with spiders. I'm like, can you put it outside? No, he doesn't put them outside. I'm like, can you kill it? He doesn't kill them. So it's kind of like, I'm like, really? Could you do one or the other? And he just leaves them. He just lets them be. So I know that they're amongst me. Not a fan. But I'm making my spider web top because it's just part of fall, right? Whether you do Halloween or not, to me spider webs are just like fall. It's just like, okay, the spiders move in because it's cold, and then they build their webs in your house. If you can't see them, if you are visually impaired, and you can't see the spiders to kill them or to relocate them, then guess what? They move in. And then guess what? They do build webs in your house that you can't see, and then you run into them. Mm-hmm. How do I know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because this happened to me in this very house. Uh-huh. I'm like, what? There's a spider web in my house. Gross. That's got to go. Right? So, yeah. So it's like a fact of life. It's icky, right? You get them in your face and it's icky and it's like, oh, so gross. So gross. So I'm not a fan, but they're definitely a part of life for me in the fall here. So I was like, you know what? Let's just make a spider. So is it like a Halloween costume? Well, I'm not going anywhere for Halloween. I'm not planning on going anywhere for Halloween or anything like that. But I still was like, you know what? It'd be cool to make a spider web top. So I would love to hear from you on your thoughts on yes or no for spider web tops. Are spider webs attire, and are they only Halloween attire, or are they all year attire? Because I'm on the fence about that one. I'm like, it's kind of cool. I'm like, if you make it, you should just wear it, right? I mean, anytime that you feel like it, right? So, anyways, that's my thoughts on that. And so, of course, you guys know, right? Like, this is it's very much a work in progress, right? You know that it's a work in progress, and it's very much a design in progress, meaning like I don't know where we're going with this top yet. Okay, I have multiple ideas in my head about where we could go with this top. I've got multiple ideas of designs going on in my head on what we could do with this top, but I don't. It's not there yet, right? Like my mind, as you know, right? Sometimes I design tops and I get real easy ideas, and other times ideas don't come so easily to me. So I'm definitely hoping. Here it is. Here it is. I'm definitely hoping that we can get it done by Halloween, if not before, because if I'm gonna wear it, it's gonna be for Halloween. So it's my hope that I will have figured out in my head what I'm gonna do with it, so it'll be finished for us. So I'm sure you'll see this again on Whip Wednesday, right? I'm sure that we'll be working on this on Wednesday. I don't really know how much progress I'm gonna make on it between now and then because I don't know its future. Like my mind's going in a lot of places for what direction to take this top. Okay, it is. It's just that you saw it on the blue top. Like sometimes I'm like immediately I know what I'm gonna do. Other times I don't. So that's kind of like how it's gonna go, right? It's gonna be like that. I do think I made this bottom piece just a little bit too big, but that's just that was the square. That's just how it turned out. So that's kind of how it's gonna go, and then I'll have to figure out how I want to do the rest of this. So you'll see it on Wednesday for sure. I'd love to hear from you, your thoughts on it. And you might even see it the following week too, because I'll just work on it slowly while I process, right? I'm going to process it. I'm going to work a few rows, process, figure out where we're going with it, and then work on other stuff while my brain's kind of sorting that out, where it's going. So anyways, alrighty, my friends. Well, thank you so much for joining me for Mondays with May. Say hello in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on the top. Let me know what you're working on, how you doing. Let me know how your weekend was, right? So, alrighty. Well, you know what we have to end with, right? Creativity is for everybody, whether you see or you see like me, which is not in color and not in the day, or you don't see it all. Creativity is for you. And whether it's knitting or crocheting or sewing or quilting or beading or sculpting or painting or carving or weaving or whatever it is that you do today, it's a great day to craft and create. Well, thank you so much for listening. And until next time, happy stitching. Bye-bye for now.